Right now, I'm floating in one of the most controversial communities in Africa.
This is crazy. I never imagined myself doing this.
Some call this place a slum, some call it the land of dead dreams.
Jesus.
Some say this place shouldn't even exist.
You can see people are barely struggling to survive.
But here is what I don't understand. If this community is worthless, why is it getting the world's attention?
Why would they say Makoko is not safe when we have over 200,000, a lot of people living in this place?
Why are foreign architects studying it? Why did American streamer Kai Cenat publicly express interest in building $1 million educational hub here? Why does the government keep fighting over this community?
I took over from Pastor Douglas, the American pastor.
This is Makoko, a floating community in the heart of Lagos.
There's never been any outbreak disease from this place.
The team and I came here to ask one simple but uncomfortable question. Why is Makoko getting the world's attention? I set out into Makoko for the first time. I knew this was going to be an adventure, so I had to be very strategic. Before you enter a community like that, you have to respect culture and move carefully. I got a few warnings before we embarked on this project. Let's briefly go back in history. Makoko's history dates back to the 18th century. It was founded by Egun migrants from what is now the Republic of Benin. They settled along the Lagos Lagoon, building homes on slits and surviving through fishing. But as Lagos expanded, Makoko grew informally, unplanned, unrecognized, and undocumented. Today, estimates suggest that between 100 to 200,000 people live in and around Makoko. As we step deeper into the community, we discovered that the reality here is completely different from the main Lagos. People outside Nigeria often see drone shots and call it slum, but standing there physically, it felt more complex than a label. Upon getting to the seaside, I was thankful there was no hostility or aggression. Initially, we were charged around 50 to 70,000 naira to make use of the boats. In this place, everyone is out here to get money from you.
Yeah, these guys are looking for money. It's a lot, but we came here for the vlog. The vlog must go on.
We later negotiated it down to 35,000 naira and the journey began. Jesus. I was scared at first, not because of the people, but because I didn't know how deep the water was beneath us. And in that moment, my only prayer was we should get to our destination safely.
This is Makoko, a floating community in the heart of Lagos.
As the boat began to move, the culture shock intensified. Children around 4 to 5 years old paddling canoe with confidence. This is not just a survivor training for them. I discovered that this is their childhood. And then I started noticing something deeper. Makoko has almost everything the land communities have, from markets to food stores to churches and even traffic congestion, but on water. The question isn't whether Makoko exists. The question is, why does it exist like this? Why does waterfront living in some parts of the world means luxury, but here in Makoko, it means slum? While still trying to process all this, I didn't know that the greatest shock was ahead of me.
Thank you so much, David. Yeah, so guys, we just got to one of our first destinations. We're still in Makoko community, and scary journey, to be honest. Dirty water. I don't know how people are living here, but my God, I think it's the first time we are seeing land. That was like a very long ride. Okay, there's a church there, and you are pastoring.
I have been pastoring there for 16 years.
Were you born here, sir?
No.
Why did you choose Makoko, if I may ask?
Where? College.
So you've been pastoring this community for the past 16 years.
16 good years. I took over from Pastor Douglas,
Okay.
an American pastor.
Wow.
When he was going, he handed it over to me. So I've been pastoring the church for 16 good years. and I'll be preaching the word of God.
There's a lot of questions on my mind. What's the fate of many?
You know, in 2012, so they gave us a 72 hours notice to evacuate from this place. And we thought it's going to be a joke, and they came, and a lot of houses were demolished during that period.
2012.
In 2012. So, and a second in command to the chief, his name is Timothy Azinkpono. Timothy Azinkpono was shot by one of the police, and he died. And that was what made them stop the demolition in 2012. And ever since then, they didn't come again, and so they've sent a lot of letters to us to let them fill the community. So which we said no. Living in water is part of our culture. We are very fine, and we've never complained about it. So if you want to help us, why don't build our structures on water? So we're very fine with it. So last year, December 22, they came again, and so what they told us is there's a power line. That power line. So actually, people build house close to the power line, and so what they told us was, so they wanted to move houses, like a setback from the power line, 30-meter setback from the power line. So that was what they told us. So we said, okay, it's fine. If the government wants to move people away from the power line, due to safety reason, we are fine with it. So they demolished that 30-meter. From 30-meter, they said, okay, it's going to be 50 meters. So they demolished to 50 meters. From 50, they said it's going to be 100. You guys need to tell us the truth. We've been living in this place for over 100 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Were you born here?
Yeah, I'm born and brought up in this place.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yes, I live. This is where I stay. This is my house. So my grandfather died at the age of 115, and he's the very first chief of this place. So that was when one of the policemen had to open us to us that what they told him, the order they gave them is to demolish the whole building on the waterfront. That no single building is going to be left out. So we have a orphanage home here. It's been destroyed. We got a lot of schools in this place. It's been destroyed. The government has done nothing in this place, this waterfront. And the only people who have supported doing things here are the NGOs. Okay. You understand? Individual people, a contribution you get. So, and Kaisenat, he wanted to build a school. It made mention of Makoko.
Yes.
So it made mention of Makoko.
It's on the net, yeah.
So now, I've seen Kaisenet, I've seen the government officials draw these guys' attention. So he went to meet them. And it's a very big project. Yeah. And if you want to do a project like that, you involve the government. So do it in a legit way, you understand? Yeah. So, and the news I heard was they said Makoko is not safe. So that was what they're saying now. They said Makoko is not safe to have that kind of a structure, that kind of a school in Makoko, that they will take the school out of the community and build it somewhere else and take Makoko people there. I'm born here. I've lived all my life in this place. Yes, from here I went to school. Okay. So why would they say Makoko is not safe when we have over 200,000, a lot of people living in this place? They said it's not safe, and there's never been any outbreak disease from this place. We've never reached out to government say, okay, this is happening in this place. This is way of living. They are only looking for their self-interest. To me, that's what I would say. There's a place like this in Benin Republic. Okay. Called Gambier. If you go to Gambier, I'm telling you, I'm born here, but if you go to Gambier, you like it more. It's just similar like this, the same way. There's no difference. The government there are building hospitals, hotels, markets on water.
I just hope these people are not forgotten. I hope light shines there again. I hope so.
Girls fighting over Gemini and Pisces. Every corner it's war and crisis. Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda and ISIS. How come the poor people are the nicest?
As the boat slowly made its way back, I sat quietly. Maybe Makoko is not Lagos' embarrassment. Maybe it's the Lagos mirror, reflecting our inequalities, our land politics, our urban planning failures, and our economic greedy ambitions. As we moved closer to our destination, I looked back one more time. Children were still paddling. Women were still trading. Men were still fishing. Life was still happening. Makoko does not need pity. It needs clarity. It needs structure. It needs leadership that sees value without erasing identity. I came here searching for answers, but I left with unanswered questions.